How you guys doing tonight? How many of you are entrepreneurs out there? Probably more of you than you think. The thing about being an entrepreneur is basically you're taking something that you've learned how to do over time and you're converting it into a way to make money. Sounds a lot like a job, but you're doing it for yourself. You're not doing it for a company. Um, the thing is, a lot of people, when they think about entrepreneurs, think about how to be a multimillionaire, how to, work 10 hours a week and live on a yacht. And that's what being an entrepreneur is to most of them. Problem is, even as Gary Vee will tell you, or Tony Robbins, or Arnold Schwarzenegger, or any of these people that are making these $1 million a year as an entrepreneur, they sell you on the great parts of it, and that's wonderful. Having dreams, having hopes, having things you want to get done is really important. You have to have that carrot out in front of your horse to get there. You have to have the steps in place to know where you need to go to get where you want to get. The problem is they don't tell you what it takes. Gary Vee recently released a quick bit about this on his Instagram, I think, as well as LinkedIn. There's times he's working 23 hours a day. There's times when he's gone for a whole weekend, misses somebody's birthday, misses child's play, misses, tooth falling out. He's tired. He's traveling. He's not at home. And yeah, he makes a lot of money. And this is in his own words. He makes a lot of money, but the effort and the sacrifices you have to make to become a multimillionaire are not easy. Um, you have to bust your ass to be a multimillionaire. Uh, as an entrepreneur is the only way you will do it. You will not make money as working for somebody else. Doesn't matter how much you make per hour, you will never become a multimillionaire as long as a company is paying you to do a job that will make them millions of dollars. Trying to trade your time and your life for money is not a good way to get there. And they can pretty much all tell you that. As Bob Proctor says, you need to find a way to bring in money when you're not working on time that you're not devoting. You need to get a product that brings in money while you're sleeping, a service that brings in money while you're actually doing something else that's bringing in money directly. A lot of these entrepreneurs are multimillionaires busted their butts early in their career, got money, invested in the right places, whether it was flipping homes, whether it was a new situation in the marketplace, whether it was an up and coming trend that happened to pay off. A lot of them made money simply by having the money to invest and making the right choices. Now, as far as being an entrepreneur, a lot of us are. Somebody that's baking cookies, selling them on the weekends, bringing in an extra $2,000 a month. That's an entrepreneur. Somebody that's baking cakes for birthdays and bringing in $300 a month. That's an entrepreneur. The reason I use those examples is to be a good baker or a good cook. Um, you devoted years of your life to the craft, to becoming a baker, to learning how to mix ingredients, to learning what makes a cake good or a cake great, learning how to frost things or decorate things. Your entrepreneurship as a baker did not start because you made cookies once for a children's birthday party. Your life up to that point of cooking, of learning how things work, was your learning. That was your skill set. That was your apprenticeship. So when these people want to be a multimillionaire this week, working 20 hours, doing what they want to do, and doing it on a beach somewhere with a margarita and their yacht parked off the beach 20 yards. You could get to that point, and there are entrepreneurs that have done that, but you don't start there. And that's where it really comes down. How much of an entrepreneur do you want to be? Do you want to be one that invests $100,000 of your money you've earned and it pays off and makes you a millionaire, and you have to earn that 100,000? Now, I did a video earlier on that about becoming a millionaire by earning money, by investing, by paying things off. For you to come up with $100,000 to invest, unless it's given to you, inherited, um, a lawsuit payout, something like that, you have to work your butt off to get that $100,000 set aside. So again, it's not easy. On top of that, you have to be in the right place and do the right research and put in the effort to make sure you invest in the right things. Being an entrepreneur is great. There's a reason I'm doing this video in this room. You'll see behind me a bunch of guitars. I've spent about the last 8 or 9 years starting my own startup company. It is not where my sole source of income comes from. It's not even where my main source of income comes from. There have been years when I've made enough money in a couple of months that I bought a new car. There's been times when I've made enough money over 6 months that I, paid for a vacation, paid for Christmas presents, something like that. And it's all on top of what I make at an hourly job or a salary job or working a 9-to-5 job. And on top of it, I got to keep some really nice ones that I like. That's where my entrepreneurship is most heavily biased right now, is the guitar market. I don't specialize in pianos. I don't rewire amps. I know guitars. I know what to do to make the money to buy what I need to buy to make money down the road. And that's a lot of what being an entrepreneur about is too, is taking the money you do have or the opportunity you have or the items you have that you can sell or trade and bring in more down the road. There's recently a person I had listened to talk about doubling, where if you buy something for 100 and sell it for 200, buy that take that $200 item, sell it for 400, take that $400 from that, buy an item that you can sell for 800, take that $800 item that you have $800 invested in, and you get $1,600. And this all started from $100. So in a matter of 5 steps, you've gone from a $100 investment to a $1,600 payout if you want to stop there. I've managed to do that one. I've managed to do a little bit more than that, but it requires research. It requires jumping on an opportunity when you have the chance. And to be able to jump on that opportunity means you have to have the money set aside. You have to have already earned that money, saved that money, made that money from somewhere else. Sometimes you have to be willing to give up things to get that money set aside so you can put it towards your future. I have sold a few guitars that I probably would have liked to have kept, but the market behind it and the reason behind it led me to more money down the road. I have ended up with some very good instruments that I let go of, instruments I didn't really know if I wanted to let go of. And it turned out to be a good opportunity, a good investment. It doesn't mean you should get rid of anything that matters to you. You should separate what's a hobby from what's your business, from what you're going to regret giving up to what you're willing to give up. I'm not willing to give up weekends away, half the year from my family. I'm not willing to give up sleeping more than 4 hours a day for a year. That's what I'm not willing to give up to be an entrepreneur. There are people like that. There are people that are young. There are people that are hungry. that have no commitments. They will gladly give that up to bring in the money. I've known people like that. I have nothing against people like that. I know it's not what I would do. It's not what's in my heart. It's not what's in my best interest for my life. I have no problem with people having millions. I have no problems if I had millions. I have no problem with people that say the entrepreneurial way is what's made them who they are. What the question you all have to ask yourself is, to be an entrepreneur, you can do anything. You can sell Matchbox cars that you pick up at flea markets on the weekend because you enjoy flea markets. You can invest in guitars because you love guitars and learn about them, not just buy what you want and hang it on the wall, but buy what you want, figure out what's going to make you some money, um, try a bunch of different ones, end up with what you want, sell what you don't want. Try to get yourself in a position where you can try things to see if you like them. And if they don't work out, you can sell them on and make some money. That way you gain experience as well as money. That's where I've been with this business. Um, if you want to be a multimillionaire from being an entrepreneur, you're going to have to put in the hours, you have to put the time, and you're going to have to put in the sacrifices. But you can't do it working 9 to 5 and working 70 hours a week for some other company. You're going to have to figure out how to double your money, how to take the money you set aside that you're not spending, live below your means, get that money set aside, put it towards something you know you can double on or make money on or invest in where you'll double, in 3 years. Buy a house for 100,000 now that you can flip for 300,000 in 3 years. That's more than doubling. That's tripling. But you have to be willing to put that 100,000 up, which means you have to be willing to earn that 100,000. I hope this doesn't discourage you from being an entrepreneur, because I think that's a great thing to do. I think you take your interests, you learn about them, you put some money aside, you put some money into it, and you figure out how to make a little bit of money on the side from it. That's being an entrepreneur. If you want to be a multimillionaire entrepreneur, that's up to you whether that is worth it to give up. So that's my conversation on this. Again, check out Gary Vee's video on what it costs him to be an entrepreneur these days. Do some research, find out what some of these people did. It's not easy for any of them. A lot of them that are semi-famous or some that are really famous made money flipping houses. They invested in real estate. They were smart about it. Some made really good investments into technology, and that's where their money came from. If you have the knowledge to do that and you have the money set aside or can get the money, don't go into credit card debt. Just have that money, that cash set aside. Put it into it. Make your money. It's a great way to do things. And maybe it is spending an extra $30 every weekend at a flea market. Maybe it's putting $100,000 aside to buy a house next year that you know you can flip. You need to do what you love. You need to do something that you're willing to trade your time and your saved money and some of your freedom in your life for, in hopes that you do make the life you want from it. And some of us, that's a couple extra guitars on the wall and a car paid off. Some of you, until you get that yacht and that beach, not going to be fine with it. Others are going to enjoy the heck out of craft fairs every weekend because you're making money and doing what you love. Anyway, enjoy your life. Make some extra money if you want. Love what you're doing. That's my take on this. Thank you.